Pete, co-founder Kudo, and of course sponsor of AI to Peace. Welcome.
Thank you very much. How exciting is this?
It's incredible. Yeah, and as Steve was just mentioning on that link, 1.2 million people so far, viewing the content. So that's incredible. We thank you for enabling that to happen.
I think that's actually an understatement. Last time I looked at it, it was over 2.5. So incredible job. Absolutely amazing. And can't wait to see what it's like at the end of the day. And thank you, everyone that's been listening, just tuning in.
Yeah, good point. Thank you to all of the viewers for tuning in. That's very, very special. So look, to everyone watching, you're the co-founder of Kudo. You've enabled this global conversation to take place. Tell the audience about your journey, from where you started to where you are today.
Well, I didn't always know I was going to end up here. This is the pace of technology moving, right? A lot of this stuff didn't really exist. I think, let's go a little bit way back. When I was at school, I was the last year to leave before IT became compulsory. I left there, having never really been into computers. I wasn't one of the 4-year-old coders, and I know they've had some amazing guests on through the day so far. So my journey was really like kind of a bit of self-discovery. It's like, what did I want to do? And then I went to university a bit later, at 21, after doing a bit of traveling and doing some odd jobs here and there. I didn't really have that direction. But when I got to university, there was something that kind of gripped me in that computing world, and I didn't know what it was yet, but I felt like it was a challenge. And I feel like I've just been very, very, very fortunate, Jeremy, to be able to catch 3 great waves of innovation in that time in my career: cloud computing, blockchain, and now AI. And we're not talking about AI because it's been around a long time, and I don't think people realize how long we've actually been using it. I'm talking more about this kind of generative AI and this agentic AI and what's soon to go into this kind of physical AI boom. So yeah, that's been my journey really, one of self-discovery, going through different technologies, and I think you just get hooked. When you're inside that industry and you see all the things being innovated, you just get hooked. So that's me.
Yeah, amazing. So you get hooked, and being inside this kind of world and this evolution of AI, and it's progressing really fast. When you hear this phrase, because look, there's a lot of people who aren't in the world of AI who are a little bit concerned, maybe a bit fearful, feel a bit disempowered by it all, and a bit confused as to where it's going to take us. Let's get into that in a moment. But when you hear this phrase, AI to peace, what do you think about when you hear that?
I think, look, first of all, Kudo, we value ourselves on sustainability. We wanted to do something very, very different to what the kind of status quo was doing out there. We spent years within the data center industry, the cloud computing industry. We wanted to find a way that we could build a sustainable model that was kind on the environment, and it was open to people, access, at all levels, wherever you were in the world, right? So that was kind of the values that comes up from a company point of view, and why we got into AI to Peace and why it really, really spoke to us. But actually, if you're asking me personally, I'm thinking my mum, my wife, my friends. If I mention AI, it's like, ooh, and we see that reaction all the time because it's a new technology. It's not widely known at a deep level yet. Necessarily. And so, when I saw AI to Peace, I thought this is a really, really good opportunity to shine a beacon of light on AI and kind of just soften it, just bring awareness to what it's actually being used in a good way.
Okay. So when when your mum or your wife or friends or dinner parties, whatever it all is, and they go, oh, AI, what do you want to say to people? What's the sort of thing you go, hang on, you don't need to feel that way. What sort of things do you say that make us feel a bit more like, okay, there is a constructive, positive journey going on here?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if we talk about the kind of what AI can be used for, let's think about disease research and disease prevention and disease curing, for instance. The power of the kind of the AI and the way that some of these applications are being built, and the way that it can generate these kind of answers for us in a very, very, very quick time, is allowing us to really accelerate the cures for cancer. And soon there'll be like personalized cures for cancer. You'll be able to go in, you'll be able to have your checkup, they find it, they're able to design specific to your genome sequences, to your cells, and be able to cure it in a very, very quick time. And that can be converted and translated across nearly every single facet of our business, our social lives, our home lives, our play lives as well. It's going to impact everything. That's really what's kind of exciting.
Okay, that is cool. I mean, we're going to show right at the end of this program how AI created something for Peace One Day with Steve Harding, to inform, inspire, and engage young people by using the tool. And I hear that, it's making education resources much more accessible. It's curing things much faster. This is all extremely interesting. Okay, but what about the other side of it? And talk to me a little bit about the part that you fear, because of course we hear a lot about AI being utilised in the world of war, and there's a lot of investment in this area. What do you think can be done to maybe slow that down, or is it more conversations like this, more shows like AI to Peace, putting constructive narrative out there, trying to inspire those who might be using it for the wrong reasons?
Yeah. I think it falls into two buckets, right? And it's all about disruption, right? So disruptive things can be a cause for fear, can be a cause for hope as well, right? But if we stick on the fear subject for now, it can kind of fall into two buckets. Bucket one is Terminator. Right? How many people would you say AI, especially when you're talking about these new kind of physical AI humanoids that are coming out, instantly think, oh, it's Terminator, it's Skynet, evil legions of robots, and how they're going to take over the world, and how they could be weaponized and used for military use. Yeah. But then you've also got bucket number two, which is AI going to take my job? How am I going to earn? Is probably the better question there. Yeah. And I think you kind of, it's because it's disrupting, and it is a disruptive technology. And without the right guardrails, right, without the right regulations in place, which always comes after innovation. So we've kind of gone through this innovation phase, and those guardrails are now coming in. Rightfully so, we should have a little bit of fear in there, right? Because this is very, very, very powerful technology, and it could go into the wrong hands. And if it is used in the wrong way, then it can have those impacts. But providing we've got those in place, then AI technology should be harnessed, because the amount of amazing stuff, it definitely weighs the balance towards there. But I'd say this with everything, Jeremy, is like, just go back and look at any technology, not just recently with the internet and how the internet has disrupted high street shops, for instance. You could go all the way back. You could say that horse breeding took a nosedive when the cars were invented, right? So everything is disrupted, as if you take a long enough view of it. I think the feeling of this time is that AI is actually disrupting humans. It's not just disrupting a trade or necessarily, it's disrupting ourselves. And so I think fear is a good place, because it actually makes sure that we put the right guardrails in place to safeguard ourselves.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's a wonderful way to look at it, and a very positive way and a constructive way. And I think you're probably, I hope there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, look, earlier you spoke to us about all the the positive ways in which, whether it's medicines or education and those kinds of areas. So I think the last thing to say, we've kind of covered a lot. That's really interesting, and thank you for doing that. The thing that I want to say is, listen, if people would like to find out more about Kudo or your work, where would they go? How can they do that?
Yeah, sure. So Kudo is an AI cloud computing platform. You can go to kudocompute.com. If you're interested in learning a bit more, you can go and sign up. Accounts are free. You can get access to lots of GPU power for your applications. But we're also part of the ASI Alliance, so Artificial Superintelligence. So if you want to go check that out, they're one of the sponsors here today as well. Then it's superintelligence.io.
Okay, that's really cool. So thank you for that. Listen, we've got, 40 seconds left, right? So tell me, a film, a book, a website, a resource for somebody watching this, because there's,
let's talk about resource. Let's talk about resource. So I would deeply encourage people to, if you have a ChatGPT, or you could use one of those kind of large language models out there, is to just go and give it a go, right? And you'll quickly see how this can really help you with your day-to-day productivity. You can even have a bit of fun on it, right? Everyone's seen these kind of action figures that are going around on Facebook and everything at the moment. But from have a look at the kind of productivity part. I use deep research all the time, and it just saves an enormous amount of time, but it's not taking away that creativity, because you still have to put that creativity in to get what you need out. It's just helping you with the structure and with the monotonous bits.
Okay. Pete, co-founder, Kudo, sponsor of AI to Peace. Listen, I'm immensely grateful, genuinely, to you, to the ASI network, to the people at Jack. We couldn't do this work if you weren't behind us. So, a massive thanks, yeah?
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Look after yourself, mate. Thank you.